Everybody, Dave here, heading off grid. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to go over the first three things that I'm doing in early retirement. And number one, that's healthcare. Healthcare needed to get figured out. And I spent most of the day today basically just doing research on healthcare and all that. I looked at Cobra as an option. I looked at the HCA as an option. I looked at the VA as option as well. I was kind of waiting for those documents to show up for my work and to kind of figure out what the cost of the Cobra would be. And I think they're sitting over my PO box, but I didn't want to drive over there and get it. So come to find out, it's actually on the website for the healthcare for the previous company that I just got done quitting. So that actually is $560 a month. That's ridiculous. That does not even cover dental. I can actually get dental from the Cobra as well. That's $39 more per month. I thought about doing that, but by the time I guess I could get it for a couple of months or something like that. Go have a couple of things done because I do need to go to the dentist a few times before I hit the Appalachian Trail next month. Would it be next month? I guess it would be now. June. When I hit the trail in June, so I might actually get the health. So I might actually get the actual dental for just a few months. Go have a cleaning done, have a cavity filled or whatever. So, um, so what I end up doing for healthcare? Well, the first thing I try to do is get healthcare here in Colorado. I'm not officially a resident here anymore, but it makes sense to get healthcare here because there's a lot more providers here and it's also centrally located. So it's a lot easier to get to than where I'm actually domiciled. But I've tried to fill out the paperwork online, the application online, and got denied. So much for trying to be truthful under penalty of perjury. I didn't lie on the paperwork, said whether or not you're a Colorado resident, and I'm not. Even though I live here, I'm not really a resident here. I kind of am a resident here. But I'm not going to be a resident here anymore. Not going to really be a resident anywhere. But because it didn't say if I'm a resident or I'm domiciled, because to me those are two separate things. They're not the same thing in my opinion. And so I'll cross that bridge later on. But so I end up just getting health coverage in where I'm domiciled. There's only like two providers up there and ended up being $420 per month. Colorado, I think the plans were like 340 or something like that. So it would have been cheaper to get a healthcare here. I'd have a lot more options. It would have been a lot more convenient. The healthcare in this country is just insane. It's really they don't want people to have health coverage here, is what it seems like. Either you make like zero money and you get on the system, or you get, subsidies for those, or you're in my boat where you have a decent amount of income due to investments, so you don't qualify for free healthcare. That's fine. I don't mind paying for healthcare, but I want healthcare that's covered in all the states, and that's not really an option. So let me fix this camera a little bit there. There we go. I'm still working this freaking phone out because my other camera, looks stupid, little specks and stuff. So the healthcare in this country is kind of crazy. You can't be seen in all the states. You got to be seen in the state where you have the health coverage. And this keeps moving on me. All right, there we go. I will figure this out just in time to go ahead on the road. So what am I trying to say about the healthcare coverage? I just really am not happy with the coverage here, and I really would love to see some changes in the government. You know what I mean? Fixing that, going across state lines. They've mentioned that the Republicans have mentioned that, and that would help because I could be seen in Colorado. I get a healthcare coverage here, and it's a lot easier. With the healthcare coverage I have now, I can't be seen in all the states. I can only really be seen in that one state, and that's really how healthcare coverage works in general. If you get something off the ACA, and in the worst case, you can only be seen in that one little county where you live. and that's even worse. So $420 for health coverage. I got a bronze plan because I want the lowest premium because I don't really plan on using it. I'm one of those people that really doesn't go to be seen by doctors like ever. But not having it, my luck, I'll need to be seen or something like that, start pissing blood or whatever. I don't know. To me, this is like catastrophic coverage. And I was just looking kind of today. I'm like, what if you needed to be seen in any other state? It really has to be an emergency. But I'm like, what if I just want to be seen and pay out of pocket? Is that even an option? I don't actually honestly know if that's even an option to go anywhere else. I'm pretty sure it would be to go to like a clinic or something like that. Say, hey, can I be, have a cast put on my arm? I broke my arm or whatever. Do an X-ray. Can you pay out of pocket for that? Pretty sure you can. So I'm pretty much certain that whatever I need done, I'm just going to pay out of pocket for because my deductible is $6,900. So, unless I go over that, it's not going to help me anyway. You know what I mean? So I might as well just pay out of pocket anywhere I go, and I can be seen anywhere then, right? As long as it doesn't go over $6,900, where I would actually start getting money back on my healthcare plan, which honestly, I would say that I have to have some major thing happen in order for me to get to $6,900, or maybe if I go to the hospital, maybe one Band-Aid costs that. I don't know, but that's the plan. Pay out of pocket anywhere I go, and it's not going to count towards the deductible because I'm not going to be seen under my healthcare plan. And if it's not an emergency anyway, and most likely that's probably what I'll do. And if anything bad happens to me or something like that, get diagnosed with some crazy illness or whatever, then I'll have to be seen where I actually have healthcare coverage where the benefits take me up to 6,900 or past 6,900 bucks. Something starts kicking in then. So that's the plan. And so I also checked just now to try to get VA as well. I did serve in the chair force for a couple of years active duty and then 4 years in the reserves. I don't think I'm eligible for anything. I'd be on the very lowest category group or whatever you want to call it. So I need to figure that out to see if I'm actually covered there. It's worth checking. I honestly don't mind even paying as long as I could get coverage. I don't mind paying for whatever they want me to pay for because guess what? I can be seen really anywhere. So that would be ideal. And another thing is an HSA. So that's another thing that people really should think about is their HSA. If you have one through your employer and you retired, you should really think about rolling that over to a plan that you can manage on your own. I'm using Fidelity, by the way, and I'm rolling that money over. I got the paperwork right here. It's going out next week. So the next, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks, that money should roll over into my Fidelity HSA. And then guess what? I'll be able to invest that in whatever ETFs or stocks that I want to. For me, it's most likely going to be JEPI or XYLD possibly because I want to grow that account, right? I'm still going to try to contribute to the account, the $3,600, $3,650, I think, this year for a single person. And I did get a healthcare plan that's eligible for an HSA, and there's certain requirements for that. One of the requirements is a certain deductible and a certain out of pocket. So my plan with I think it's $418 per month for the premium. It's a bronze plan, which is eligible for an HSA. So it might not be the cheapest plan, but in order to get that HSA there, my ideal number is to get the HSA up to 70 to $100,000 before I start having to be or required to enroll into Medicare. That's my plan because that'll take care of some of those Medicare Part B or Part C or whatever premiums. That's the plan. So if you have an HSA, make sure I would try to tap that out every single year. $3,650 this year. Your employer might contribute a little bit towards that, which counts as well. And if you have an option for an HSA and you're not taking advantage of it, I highly recommend that you take advantage of that to start building that out, because you can only contribute to that, I think, up to 62, if I'm not mistaken, or whenever Medicare can, whenever you're eligible for Medicare is when you can stop contributing. So you have a limited amount of years you can contribute to it. So that's the reason, if you are 20 years old right now, start contributing to it now. That way, by the time you retire, you'll have a lot more money in there, and not in the same boat I was. I'm only basically I've only been eligible for like 3 or 4 years for an HSA, and that's the plan. Build it up as fast as I can. Even contribute after you retire, because you can take the plan with you anywhere you go. Triple tax advantage, right? The money goes in, it's tax free. The money grows tax free, and you can take it out tax free as well. In addition, I can have health care, or I can be seen for health issues now, save those receipts 10 years, 20 years down the line. I can turn those receipts in and get them reimbursed if I want to. Not going to go that route, but you can do that. Highly recommend it. Contribute to it even after you retire, because guess what? The great thing about an HSA is any income works. That you can contribute any money. That means interest income, dividend income, qualified, unqualified, W-2 job, 1099 job. It doesn't matter. Any income counts towards contributing to an HSA, and that's not the same for a 401k. A 401k, you have to have a certain type of income to contribute to that, and that's like earned income. All right, I talked about those two things. That's what I'm doing, rolling my HSA over, get that money in there, and I'm going to contribute the rest of the amount of money this year. Since I quit my job, I have a plan now to contribute to the HSA. You can do I think a one lifetime rollover to the HSA as well, at any fund. So you can do a one-time rollover, and I would recommend doing that maybe the very last year, because you might be eligible the very last year to contribute more than the normal amount, right? Like there's a catch-up amount, and that rollover, you can only do it one time. So you can roll money out of like an IRA to contribute to the HSA. You can only do that one time. Recommend doing that the very last year you're eligible, because you can probably do more. So what's the very last thing I'm doing? The very last thing I'm doing is rolling over my 401k to an IRA or rollover IRA. To me, they're the same thing, but um, so I think I confused people in the last video, and I was basically talked about I was going to roll over the 401k. I'm not rolling that money out of a retirement account. The money is getting rolled out of a employer sponsored retirement account, a 401k, to a rollover IRA at Schwab, right? That's what's going to happen. I'm not taking the money out. I'm not going to get hit with that penalty, the 10% penalty plus whatever tax bracket he falls in, right? And for me, that would be a big tax bracket for that amount of money that I'm rolling out. So that's getting rolled out next week. Actually, I'll get the paperwork next week, and that money should hit my account the week after, or whenever the check shows up, which should take about 2 days. I'm going to do the fast way of getting it, which means they'll send it overnight, and it'll drive down to a Schwab storefront and actually deposit the money that day. And then it'll start showing up in my videos as well. So those are the top 3 things that people need to figure out, and what they probably should do and think about prior to them retiring: HSA, healthcare, and 401k. All right, I think we're done in this video. If you have any video topics or suggestions or anything you would like me to talk about, let me know down in the comments, and we're looking forward to starting the Appalachian Trail early next month, and we'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.